Yo, this isn't a joke. Rapper Jim Jones, part of the Dipset crew, has just been arrested, and the reason behind it is going to leave you stunned. Hold up, Jim Jones, the same guy who's always out here showing off, dropping hot verses, and dodging commitments like Neo in The Matrix. Yeah, that Jim Jones. Well, now his relationship drama has taken a whole new level of chaos. Word on the street is that Jim had a major blow-up with Chrissy Lampkin. And by blow-up, I don't mean a simple argument over something like toothpaste. We're talking full-blown emergency calls, cops showing up, and handcuffs being put on. But wait a minute, wasn't Chrissy the one who proposed to him? Talk about a plot twist. So what really happened? What did Chrissy do? Or more importantly, what did Jim do that has everyone online freaking out? Trust me, grab some popcorn because this is going to get interesting. Let's dive into it. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin, the reality TV couple who have kept us all entertained for over 10 years, are now involved in a scandal so big it could shake the entire entertainment world. Yep, Jim Jones has been arrested for allegedly attacking Chrissy, and this isn't just some random rumor. Witnesses, police reports, and sources close to them all confirm it's true. This could be the breaking point of their already turbulent relationship. If you've been following their dramatic love story, you know this isn't their first rodeo. From Chrissy proposing to Jim because he wouldn't commit, to their heated arguments aired on reality TV, these two have been through a lot. But what happened this time? Let's break it down. It all started with a huge argument that spiraled completely out of control. Sources say Jim and Chrissy had been at odds for days over something serious. At first, it seemed like just another one of their regular spats, but this time it was different. Neighbors reported hearing shouting, glass breaking, and doors slamming, like something straight out of a Hollywood movie. And it wasn't just words being exchanged, things got physical. Some reports suggest Chrissy threw things first, but Jim took it a step further. When the cops arrived, Chrissy was visibly upset, while Jim was agitated and uncooperative. And let's be real, this isn't Jim's first brush with the law. His name has popped up in legal issues before, but this could be the biggest one yet. So what triggered the fight? We all know that no one just snaps out of nowhere. Well, it turns out the fight may have had to do with something Jim's been dealing with for years: money. Jim loves to flaunt his lavish lifestyle with designer clothes, expensive jewelry, and flashy cars. But here's the twist: his financial situation isn't as stable as he lets on. Chrissy, on the other hand, has been the one keeping everything together, making sure the bills get paid. Sources close to the couple claim that Chrissy's had enough of this, and the situation finally boiled over. Chrissy had finally reached her breaking point. While Jim continued living his lavish rapper lifestyle, Chrissy was left holding things together financially, and this time, she confronted him about it. "Where's the money going, Jim?" she allegedly shouted during their heated argument, and Jim wasn't taking it well. If you recall, this isn't the first time Chrissy's had issues with Jim's spending habits. A few years back, she kept urging him to be more responsible, to invest in their future, and to stop spending money as if he were still on top of the rap game. But Jim ignored her concerns and kept doing things his own way. However, this time, things escalated quickly. When the police arrived, they didn't expect the level of chaos they encountered. Eyewitnesses claim Jim refused to calm down, and even when officers tried to de-escalate the situation, Jim kept resisting. At one point, an officer reportedly asked him to step outside to sort things out, but Jim started shouting, claiming they had no business being in his house. Chrissy, meanwhile, was left in shock, unable to believe the situation had gone this far. The wild part? Chrissy didn't even call the cops. The neighbors did. They were worried something serious was happening, which prompted them to report the disturbance. Fast forward, and Jim finds himself in handcuffs. The police tried to give him a chance to settle down, but with him continuing to resist, they had no choice but to arrest him. Now, let's talk about the mugshot, because you know the internet is about to go wild with this one. Jim Jones, the man who's always been vocal about being untouchable, is now sitting in a police station, wondering how he ended up in this mess. But the bigger question is, what does this mean for Chrissy? After all these years of enduring Jim's behavior, is this finally the breaking point? The internet is split. Some say Chrissy should leave him because he's never going to change, while others believe she'll stick around, especially since she supported him through worse. But let's face it, Jim is facing serious legal trouble now, and depending on how the charges unfold, it could have major repercussions on his career. Things are about to get even more intense. If Jim gets officially charged, we're looking at a long, drawn-out legal battle, and don't forget his past run-ins with the law. So the big question remains, will Chrissy stay to help him through this mess, or is this the end of the road? For their troubled relationship that's been hanging by a thread for years? One thing's certain, this is shaping up to be one of the biggest scandals in the entertainment world in a long time. And trust me, we're just getting started. Now, let's jump into part 2 of this wild story because, believe me, things are only going to get crazier from here. The fallout from this situation is just beginning. You know how the internet works. Once Jim's mugshot dropped, the online reactions went into overdrive, like a feast on Thanksgiving. Memes, tweets, Instagram posts, it was a nonstop flood. The opinions were totally divided. On one hand, some people were telling Chrissy to leave, saying she should have walked away years ago. On the other hand, there were those who believed this was just another one of their toxic arguments that would blow over, and they'd be back together in no time. But here's where it all takes a darker turn. This wasn't just a private spat. That got out of hand. No, it escalated into a full-blown criminal case. The moment Jim was booked, the police launched an investigation, and that's when the leaks started coming in. Anonymous sources, allegedly from within the police department, started talking to blogs, and let's just say their information didn't paint a pretty picture for Jim. One source claimed that when officers arrived on the scene, they found evidence of a physical altercation. Now, what does that mean? Reports suggested there were signs that Chrissy had been hurt during the confrontation. To be clear, Chrissy hasn't pressed charges yet, but in domestic violence cases, the victim doesn't always have to take action for the case to move forward. If the authorities believe there's enough evidence, they can pursue it on their own, and that's exactly what's happening here. This could mean serious legal trouble for Jim. Now let's talk about the impact this could have on Jim's career. And trust me, it could be ugly. Jim Jones has been in the game for decades, experiencing both the highs and lows of the industry. But let's face it, he's not at the peak of his rap career anymore. In today's climate, a scandal like this could be the final blow. Think about it. Brand deals, sponsorships, TV opportunities, all of that could be on the line. Jim's been trying to diversify, working on real estate projects and other business ventures to stay relevant outside of music. But if this case goes to trial and turns into a prolonged legal battle, all of those ventures could be at risk. And then there's the financial side of things. Legal battles are costly. Bail, lawyers, court fees. All of that adds up. If Jim is already struggling with money, as some reports suggest, this situation could be financially devastating. But wait, things get even more intense. While Jim's trying to figure out his next steps in jail, Chrissy has been eerily quiet. No statements, no social media activity, nothing. If you know Chrissy, that's definitely out of character. So, what's really going on? Well, sources say Chrissy's been working with her legal team, trying to figure out her next move. This isn't just about Jim, it's about her reputation too. For years, Chrissy's been trying to distance herself from the image of being the angry girlfriend, and now it seems like she's focused on protecting herself. For years, Chrissy has worked hard to build her own career, focusing on her personal projects and trying to show the world she's more than just Jim Jones's fiancé. But now, she's once again caught in the middle of another scandal. And let's be real, this could be her escape. Remember, Chrissy and Jim never actually got married, despite her waiting for that ring for over a decade. At this point, it doesn't look like it's ever going to happen, so people are wondering if this is finally the time Chrissy walks away. Honestly, if there was ever a moment to leave, it's now, but things take an even wilder turn. While Jim's facing all this drama, some old skeletons are starting to resurface. People are digging up past allegations, legal issues, and rumors about his behavior behind closed doors. And as we all know, the internet never forgets. A few years ago, there were whispers about Jim's temper. Some claimed he had a history of being aggressive when things didn't go his way. And now those same voices are resurfacing, saying, "We told you this wasn't new." But it's not just about Jim and Chrissy anymore. Other celebrities are getting involved. People in the industry are taking sides, throwing shade, and offering their opinions. Some are defending Jim, claiming the media is blowing this out of proportion, while others see this as yet another case of a toxic man in the entertainment world being exposed. And when celebrities start choosing sides, things get messy. But here's the kicker. Some of Jim's closest friends aren't defending him. People who once had his back are staying silent, and as they say, when the people closest to you don't speak up, it says a lot. Now let's talk about the legal side. This is about to get really complicated. Since the police are moving forward with the case, Jim's going to need some serious legal representation. Depending on how severe the charges are, he could face real consequences. In the best case scenario, he gets a fine and probation. In the worst case, he could be looking at jail time. And let's be honest, Jim's not built for that. While he's had legal troubles before, he's always managed to get out of them. But this time, things may not be so simple. In today's climate, people aren't going easy on cases like this. If the DA decides to make an example out of him, it could be bad. So the big question now is, how does Jim get out of this mess? Can he fix this? More importantly, does Chrissy even want to help him anymore? She's been cleaning up his messes for years, but this could be too much for her. What happens next? Is Jim about to lose everything? Will Chrissy finally walk away? And most importantly, is this the end of the road for their tumultuous relationship? This could be the end of Jim Jones's career as we know it. Things are looking pretty grim for him right now. But hold on, there's more to this story, and just when we thought it couldn't get any crazier, new details have come to light. Trust me, what's coming next is going to blow your mind. So let's dive into part 3 of this saga, because things have taken a sharp turn for Jim, and it's not looking good. Last time we checked, Jim was sitting in jail, Chrissy was uncharacteristically silent, and the entire industry was waiting to see how this would all unfold. Now, let's talk about Chrissy. Do you think she's really done with him this time? Or is this just another one of those breakups where they're apart today and back together next week? Let's face it, we've seen this pattern before. One thing is clear though, Jim is in serious trouble. If these felony charges stick, he might be looking at some serious time behind bars. What do you think? Should Chrissy have walked away years ago? Or is she making a mistake by stepping away now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I know you all have something to say about this. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit those notifications because we're just getting started with this story. More updates are coming, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next.